Spider-Man No Way Home was directed by John Watts and it stars Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Benedict Cumberbatch. And I know I'm late with this review. I've been covering up a lot of different movies recently, and this movie was included in my top 10 list of 2021. So if you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description down below. But in any case, let's get into Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, Spider-Man No Way Home directly picks up right after Spider-Man Far From Home, which was the previous release. I think it goes seamlessly into Spider-Man No Way Home. A lot of the things that happens in the movie is basically the consequences and the ramifications of the actions that took place in Spider-Man Far From Home, and you see that a lot. Now, I'm not going to get into spoilers here in case you haven't seen the film, but overall this movie has generated a lot of money. At least over $1.7 billion to be exact, and then is continuing to generate more and more. And there's a reason for that. Based on the trailers that were released, there's a lot that goes into this movie. Given the runtime too, a lot happens. It all centers around Tom Holland's Peter Parker. The previous two entries of his movies when it comes into Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, they were great films. But for me, what really resonated with me and that really drew me a lot with Tom Holland's version of Peter Parker was his introduction in Captain America Civil War, when he's interacting with Tony, with Robert Downey Jr. and Marissa Tomei. Yes, he's a young kid. And you see that progressively throughout the previous two entries. In Spider-Man Homecoming, it focuses on his prom date, and it goes through a lot of the, typical, stereotypical and cliches and given tropes of high school, movies back in the 80s and a few in the 90s and the early 2000s. So you see that formula generated in Spider-Man Homecoming. With Spider-Man Far From Home, you're out of the United States and you're in Europe now. I see where the progression goes into building his character, but in my opinion, I think that in Spider-Man No Way Home is the definitive Spider-Man for Tom Holland. As you see him grow and develop with these previous two movies, Spider-Man No Way Home really drives it home to become the definitive Peter Parker Spider-Man. I think that Benedict Cumberbatch is great as well as Doctor Strange, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, Jon Favreau as Happy. All of that centered around Tom Holland's incredible performance here. I think yet again that this is the definitive Spider-Man. A lot when it comes into the runtime, it is justified given how much happens in the movie. There's a lot that goes on. The only negatives I have with the film is by the third act. The third act of the film, I think that really suffers in terms of trying to put everything all together. It is the amalgamation of everything that leads up to this moment. And I think that it falls short in my opinion because I think that there was a lot going on. And especially it was very visual effects and special effects heavy. Certain effect shots didn't really work out. Perhaps they were in a rush trying to go through the effects. In certain parts, yeah, it didn't work out for me. A lot of the character choices in the movie didn't really work out for me either. A lot when it comes into Peter's dialogue is great, it's quick, it's quirky, it's really funny. There's a lot of comedic beats in the movie too. The only thing that I would say here is that sometimes when it comes into nostalgia, when it comes into movies, that could be the movie's detriment. So what I mean by that is too much fan service, too much nostalgia can sometimes be the downfall of the movie. However, with this one, with Spider-Man No Way Home, the nostalgia works. It helps build up the anticipation, so it really does a great job. Now, when it comes into my ranking with the film in terms of the Marvel movies and Spider-Man movies, to me, I think that this is the best Marvel movie, but not the best Spider-Man movie, if that makes any sense. So for me, the best Spider-Man movie will be Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire version. So guys, I had a great time with Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, it has a few flaws. It's not a perfect movie, but I think that what I said earlier about nostalgia really hits home with me because, yeah, nostalgia can be the downfall of a movie, but with this one, the nostalgia works. So I'm going to give Spider-Man No Way Home a solid B+. So guys, what did you think about Spider-Man No Way Home? Did you like it? Did you hate it? And tell me down in the comment section down below, which is your ranking in terms of Spider-Man movies, in terms with the Tom Holland version and the Andrew Garfield versions and the Tobey Maguire versions. Which are your favorites? I'd love to know all of them down in the comment section down below. And if you made this far into this video, thank you so very much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and comment and hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I can't wait to hear from you very, very soon. Peace out.